Well, good morning. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and we're here today with the secret teachings of all ages. I know that some people of the Christian persuasion don't like me teaching from this book, and you're just going to have to deal with it or go watch who gets kicked off the island or whatever instead of this, because we want to take ourselves beyond the box. We want to get ourselves some ideas that will expand our mental and our spiritual horizons. And Manly Hall's classic book, Secret Teachings of All Ages, while I do not certainly endorse everything that's in it, believe it is a foundational book at allowing us to break our paradigm and to be introduced to new ideas that can be tremendously helpful in our spiritual development. And before we get rolling here, I encourage you to like this channel. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. I encourage you to share these videos because we need your help in allowing more people to be exposed to these videos and allowing more people to be able to get at least the idea of what we're doing here. And of course, we share our morning coffee because it's fun, and because, of course, I'm still working out these throat issues. So let's go ahead and get right into the classic Manly Hall Secret Teachings of All Ages. And I really want you to be able to understand this. I really want you to be able to read this. And I really want you to be able to pick up on this. And I want to pick up right here. Aristotle said that all men naturally desire to know, and we're actually still in the introduction of the secret teachings of all ages, and I think it is a truism that all men naturally desire to know. I think that's true. I think that's real, and I think it is something that is a universal constant. The problem with Christianity, the problem with Abrahamic religion, and really the problem with New Age religion is that, let's just talk first about Abrahamic religion, and since I am the Christian whistleblower, I'll talk about that which I know best, which is Christianity. All men naturally desire to know, and yet Christianity thwarts that desire by presenting to man a position that says we know all there is to know, so all you have to do is listen to us. So even though all men naturally desire to know, we've been so indoctrinated into this matrix mindset that the majority of us, really the vast majority at this point, and the vast majority for the last 2,000 years, even though all men have naturally desired to know, all men pretty much have been willing to accept that the priest knows. They've been willing to accept that the pastor knows. They've been willing to accept that the rabbi knows, that the imam knows, and they've been willing to accept and they've been willing to sublimate their natural desire to know by just receiving that which the priest, the pastor, already knows. All men still naturally desire to know, but when priest and pastor tells you you'll go to hell unless you just follow what we say, because we know all men naturally desire to know, and the Christian church says that it knows all for all men. And those that are weak, those that are lazy, those that allow themselves to be victimized by spiritual Stockholm syndrome, those that don't have spiritual nobility, and I guess I have to say that those who it's just not their time, sublimate their desire to know and check their brain at the door of the cathedrals of Roman Catholicism or the churches of Roman Protestantism. So it creates a pseudo knowledge. It creates a pseudo knowing. Well, I naturally desire to know, as Aristotle said, but I'm knowing because I'm listening to the priest, I'm listening to the pastor. So even though you feel like you're learning all there is to know, all you're doing is sublimating that natural, all men naturally desiring to know to one source. And we all know that that is not a smart, a noble, or an empirical way to proceed. And I have to say this, and this is where I get in trouble with my New Age friends, that there really is a strong movement for a creation of a New Age clergy. A New Age clergy that creates situations where the New Age laity must come to them on a weekly or monthly basis in order that they might dole out to them their wisdom and their knowledge. All men naturally desire to know, but many men and women that escape the trap of Roman Christianity are falling into the New Age, New Cage. I don't listen to priests anymore. I don't listen to pastors anymore. But I do go every week to have my angel cards read. I do go every month to have my fortune told. I do go every month to have my tarot cast. I do go every month to have my spirit guides channeled so I can know what time I should go to the bathroom and what I should eat for lunch. It may not be quite that to that extent, but there has been and there continues to be a creation of a New Age clergy. And it's just as damnable as the Old Age clergy. The New Age clergy is just a new cage. It is Christianity part deux. And shame on you, New Age practitioner. I hope some of you are stricken in your heart right now and you're like, oh no, I'm doing this. Shame on you, New Age practitioner. Whether you be angel card reader, whether you be past life regressor, whether you be tarot, whether you be scrying, whether you be channel, whatever you be, if you be creating dependency on the part of people that they must come to you every week, every 2 weeks, every month in order to get something that they need for their lives that they can only get from you, shame on you. You should not be creating a New Age clergy. You should not be creating dependency within this New Age laity that you hope to create. You're not as good as you think you are. Let me tell you this. If you're not good enough to help the people do what you do for them, for themselves, in 90 to 120 days, you ought to quit and stop messing with people till you learn how to do it better. Because you're a hack if you can't help people within 90 to 120 days and empower them to be able to do what you're doing for them for their damn selves. Shame on you. You are creating a New Age clergy, and you're no better than the Old Age clergy. Wow, that's pretty strong, but guess what? We used to say that when I was preaching, it's tight, but it's right. Okay. And here's kind of the way things are. He who has not even a knowledge of common things is a brute among men. He who has an accurate knowledge of human concerns is a man among brutes. And he who has and knows by intellectual energy is a god among men. He who knows all that can be known by intellectual energy is a god among men. Men's status in this natural world is determined, therefore, by the quality of his thinking. Underline that, write that down on a piece of paper, put it up on your note board. And of course, when we say man, we're including woman, we mean mankind. A human status in the natural world is determined by the quality of their thinking. And I would steal a line from Tony Robbins that I think he probably stole from the founders of NLP, whose names slip me, Grinder and Bandler. And Tony Robbins says that your status or the quality of your life is dictated by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. And that's 100% true. And as Hall states here, our status in the natural world is determined by the quality of our thinking. Add on to that, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So it's like the Christ said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And as Hall continues, a person whose mind is enslaved to the bestial instincts is philosophically not superior to the brute. And if all you're thinking about is how you're going to get laid, and if all you're thinking about is how you're going to get paid, you're just another brute beast. And you Christian preachers and you New Age clergy, if all you're thinking about is how you're going to get paid, then you're just a brute beast, and worse than a brute beast, because you ought to know better. And the guy or the gal whose rational faculties ponder human affairs is a human. And we should be pondering our human affairs. And let me go back for just a moment to the clergy thing. This is one of the reasons I'm very excited about the President of the United States calling out fake news. I'm so excited to see the President of the United States point at CNN and say, you're fake news. I'm so excited to see the President of the United States exclude CNN and some of the far left-leaning mainstream media from the press gaggle. And why am I excited to do this? Because it allows people to say, people that are even close to waking up say, all of these it's nobody worships at the altar of CNN anymore. Trump is destroying the altar of CNN. It's like those ISIS idiots, tearing down old religious monuments. Trump is destroying the altar of CNN. He's not bowing to CNN anymore, and it's allowing people to say, you know what, maybe CNN doesn't know everything. Maybe I should start thinking for myself. And I think this will evolve and morph past that into the church too. Well, maybe if CNN doesn't know everything, maybe the priest doesn't know everything, maybe the pastor doesn't know everything. And I believe that as he continues this crusade, and if we know anything about Mr. Trump, President Trump, it's that he's not a person who's going to back down, that this will continue to destroy the air of unquestionability of the mainstream media, and I think it will follow into big-time religion as well. So I'm very, very excited about it. So let our thinking be our quality of life, and let the questions that we ask ourselves determine our quality of life. O philosophy, life's guide. O searcher out of virtue and expeller of vices. What could we in every age of men have been without thee? Thou hast produced cities, thou hast called men scattered about into the social enjoyment of life. It's important for us to improve the quality of our thinking. It is important for us to improve the quality of our questions that we ask ourselves, and it is of paramount importance to us to begin to stop outsourcing our thinking, to stop outsourcing our search of knowledge, and go back to our natural state of wanting to know and trusting no one other than ourselves to lead us on that path of knowledge. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, and this is what it's all about when you really determine that you're going to start to unindoctrinate yourself.